Good morning, everybody. um, Sorry about yesterday and Savage Patriots, but the emergency was on my part, and it's still kind of going on. Um, we're in the middle of trying to um, work through some things here on my end, and it is. Uh, it is testing. It is testing. Um, can't go into much detail about it right now. Um, I probably will at some point. I will, um, but there's a lot going on, and slightly makes me feel a little bit helpless in the situation. But it's trying to bring back to the forefront that I have to trust God on this particular situation here, and while it's not easy, can't tell you it's easy. Um, Not easy at all. But um, you got to keep going. Got to keep doing what you got to do. So anyway, so if I zone out once in a while, just know that there is a lot on my mind. Um, it is not uh, just gonna disappear. I have to really work on focusing correctly. So anyhow, um, today we're gonna be discussing some stuff about the Miss Owens, and I think I need to remind people about who this individual really is. Um, we've heard multiple things from them and about them. A lot of it to do with um, her stance politically, and even about her friend, and more so, especially about the current nation of Israel, political nation of Israel. But I think many are missing something that's very vital to the conversation. Um, and the thing that many are missing is this one thing about Miss Owens. Um, for all the truth telling that she gives and all the information and the things that she puts out there is one massive problem with the who of what she is, the who side of Candace. She is indeed a minion of Satan. And I don't say that lightly. Um, I don't say that in a judgmental. I'm stating that as a matter of fact. She is a minion of Satan himself. When I say that, I mean that unequivocally, 10 toes down. Candace works directly for, under the auspices of Satan. I don't know how else to say that. And I think I'll show you what I mean by that here in a minute. Um, because there is no way you can listen to her, weigh it against the word, and not come away with that assessment. So I'm going to play for you the conversation she had with Joe Rogan way back in the day when people said she was seeking. And then I'll play for you something that has recently come up in her current iteration of herself. And you can make your own decisions about it. I have made my mind up about it. Um, But you can see exactly where I'm getting it from. And if you don't get it, then you don't get it. I don't require anybody else to get it for me to state my case about it. I don't need confirmation about this. I don't need anyone to back me up on it. I don't need anybody to believe as I believe. I'm 100% on this for myself. So this is a conversation she had with Mr. Rogan.
Well, I definitely think that people need structure. I definitely think that people need family and community and all those good things. But when it comes to religion, it's like, which one is right?
That's not about being right.
All of them?
It's not about being right. It's not about being right. Yeah.
What about Scientology?
No, like there's not. I know. Okay? I'm going to be honest. I know nothing about Scientology, so I'm not. I know that people hate Scientology. That's all I know about it.
Created by a science fiction writer.
Okay.
And it's all nonsense.
Right.
That's all you need.
Now remember what she has always said. She has always said that she is a student of history. She's always loved history. And she's always looked into history, especially that of religion. Now, if that is the case, then you would think, just maybe, that she would know something about the various religions. And for her to say that it is not a matter of being right, then what the hell do you really have to go on if it's not about right and wrong? If you are now on this bandwagon of, there's no, you're back then, and this is not more than 7 years ago, right and wrong is not the point of religion, but now all of a sudden the Jews are 100% definitely wrong, and as well as Protestant definitely wrong, but Catholics are definitely right, then something, what changed for you? What changed for you? I would venture to say that money changed for her. One is more lucrative than the other, making it right.
Okay. Yeah. So
it's one of the dumbest religions of all time. If you read like what they stand for, what they're all about. Leah Remini, who was in it for years.
Yeah, I didn't watch her series.
She'd been on my podcast and she explained her journey into it and what happened with it and when she started to question it. And there's a whole thing. There's a what is the fucking HBO documentary? It's also the book, the HBO on Scientology, the Lawrence Wright. Going Clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
I read the book and I watched the documentary. It's
like so crazy. Well, I know nothing about it besides like Tom Cruise. I'm gonna be honest. I'm totally ignorant.
Yeah.
And therein lies the problem. Listen to me carefully. That has always been Candace's problem. She remains willfully ignorant on many things, but speaks as though she is the massive person of information about it. This is exactly her biggest problem. She does not know the difference between being Jewish, being Christian, and being a person with the nationality of Israel. She doesn't understand the difference. If she did understand the difference, she'd be able to separate the government of Israel from the Jewish faith. What she does is conflate the two. And she will absolutely, unequivocally put down the Jewish people in light of Israel's government. And then try to tell everybody they should abandon Israel by lumping it all together in one. She doesn't understand half the stuff she talks about. And she doesn't try to, because the one side that makes her the most money is the grift. The danger in that is that she is speaking to people at a massive amount of, reach. People who claim to be Christian, even, and leading them astray. That is a big problem. That is a massive problem. The only other entity I could think of that does that willingly, happily, and efficiently is the devil, which is why I say she is a minion of Satan. The amount of work that she puts in to denounce everybody else while not denouncing the satanic behavior of her own religion is insane to me. For all the research that she can do about the etymology of a word or the location of this file or the history of this person. She has not once looked into the satanic behavior of the Catholic Church and their demonic behavior when it comes to children, but is more upset about everybody else. That is weird to me. But I also have become quite fully aware that it is by design. It's willful at this point.
It's, you know, for some people, here's the thing. For some people, it's structure and it's helpful.
Right.
Ideologies are helpful sometimes because they give you like a format to live your life by, or scaffolding to keep your moral beliefs inside of these boundaries, and it helps you get ahead and you have purpose and decision making. But at the end of the day, it's a cult. You know,
right?
And there's a lot of them.
Right.
There's a lot of different ones. So, like, how do you decide?
It's not about deciding. It's just that they're.
It's not about deciding. It's not about deciding. It's not about deciding. Okay.
There's something that comes from, I think, just learning certain lessons. It doesn't need to be. I'm not saying like we all need to like from structure. Like the Bible used to be taught in school objectively. It would be taught by people that were not practicing Christians, right?
And that's what she wants to go back to. Teach the Bible by people who are not Christians. You see, for Candace, Christianity is not an actual following and a love and reverence for God. It's not. For her, it is just something to stand on and scream. That whole Christ is King nonsense that she came out with, she does not believe that. Candace does not believe Christ is king as a Catholic. She does not believe that. If she believed that Christ was king, she would have absolutely zero affiliation with the Catholic Church. She doesn't understand who Jesus is. She has no clue. She doesn't understand the function of the Holy Spirit. She doesn't understand the function of Christ. She has no idea what she is talking about. She would not need the Pope if she believed anything true about Jesus. That was just a meme that she created. Candace is willfully ignorant and stupid when it comes to the Bible and anything religious. She should be shutting all the way up, but she doesn't because it's too much money involved in talking. Candace has become a money whore. That's what she actually is, a prostitute at the throne of money. She would be the ones in the courtyard of the temple spreading all kinds of lies for money. The same thing with when Paul encountered those men and they had this witch talking on behalf of them and they were making them money. That would be Candace. That would be Candace. Not a single bone in her body believes what she talks about. Because she definitely doesn't live it.
Used to be taught in school objectively because there's still lessons that are timeless in these Bible stories. It's something to do with whether or not you don't need to then say, oh, and then we go to church and then we pray in school and all that stuff. You can almost extract that and try to teach these lessons objectively. But
so have the Bible without God. What do you think she's doing now? She finally got a platform to do exactly what she's espousing with Joe Rogan right now. All this good stuff without God. There's a reason why I'm showing you this, because this history of who she is being played out now and being shown to you that what she's always wanted is to be a hypocrite, and she's now a true 100% hypocrite.
kids are learning now is like how to be an anarchist, like, you know, feminism 101, and you're like actually fostering an angry culture by telling them at every turn if they should be outraged.
While she's doing the same thing now. You see the problem? Do you see? Okay.
An outrage culture, and then you're surprised when somebody does something outrageous.
Right.
It's a little bizarre to me. It's like everything should piss you off. Everything should make you angry. Everything should make you upset.
Tell me if that's not what she's doing now. Please tell me if what she is saying is not what she is doing right now. Everything should make you mad. Everything is a conspiracy. Everything. Am I wrong? She has become the anarchist that she's talking to Joe Rogan about right now. She is that anarchist. You know what makes her worse than the left? Is that she uses God to do it. That's what makes her exponentially more dangerous. She's using the title and name and format of God to do it. That's why I have no brakes for her. That's why I am not going to go lightly on her. People that do that need to be called out. She has become the same anarchist.
Everything is unjust. Everything is oppressed. And I don't know why this kid just shut up at school. Why was he so angry? Like, it's like we're weird. It's like we're weirdly fake. And no.
You look. I couldn't say it better. You are weirdly fake. I couldn't. You know what? You just describe yourself better than I could ever have done it. You are weirdly fake. You are weirdly fake. I'm glad you said it. So glad.
No one wants to have the conversation. The shooting happens and everyone wants to talk about the NRA, and then David Hogg is back on the news.
Shooting happens, everyone wants to talk about Israel. It's the same thing with you. Your NRA is Israel. You are no different, Candace. You are literally no different.
Jordan Peterson has some interesting ideas about religion and the fundamental beliefs and the lessons that are learned from things like the Bible and how they apply to human life, and that our own belief systems, without these sort of structures and belief systems, is one of the things that leads civilization astray, and that it's done that before and things go awry.
Well, I actually had this debate with Charlie, and I did a panel down in DC, and we were talking about whether, like, you know, the reintroduction of God and teaching him to school. And I said, like, at some point there seems to be the struggle. I have this idea that, like, human beings in a certain way, we're doomed to just keep repeating history. I'm obsessed with Greek mythology.
Now here we go. This will explain everything you can ever need to know about what Candace's agenda is. She's going to divulge it to you years ago. So when you look at her now, you will understand she told you where she was going to go. She told you. Listen carefully.
I'm obsessed with, like, Egyptian history, hieroglyphics, like anything that, like, where they tell stories, especially Greek mythology, because the lessons are there and we just keep doing it, right? Greed, lust, like the things that human beings fall for, right? So I had this idea when we were talking, because Charlie is an evangelical Christian. I'm not, right? I believe in
This super smart guy is an evangelical Christian.
Yes.
So does he believe, like, Jesus?
Listen to how she talks about Charlie, people. Please listen. I am not saying it. She is. She had this viewpoint forever ago. Listen carefully.
Came back to life?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. He's an evangelical Christian.
So he believes that someone died
Yeah.
And then 3 days later,
Yeah.
they came back to life, and that they walked on water and
Yeah,
healed
I mean,
the
you have to.
sick.
I haven't really gotten into it with him because I'm not the
Mhm.
person that should ever be like debating or talking about
Right.
religion. It's not my
Mhm.
like shtick, I guess.
It's not your shtick. It's not your shtick. I am not the person that should be speaking. I'm not. I am not that person that should be speaking on religion. Now, mind you, he said a smart guy like that believes in a man dying and raising again. Yeah. And walking on water. Yeah. Yeah, he believes that. That's crazy. I haven't really talked to him about it, but yeah, it's all fun.
But so what I said to him, because me and him both believe that in many ways the reason that the government has the media has started roundly dissing God, right, like, and dissing Jesus Christ, is because the government wants to be God, right? So if people
Wait
don't
a minute, do you think the media is responding to the government's suggestion? Is that what you think? The reason why people are going after religion is because the media is responding to some sort of orders from the government?
Not orders. That's wrong. So it's
directive.
No. But Andrew Breitbart said that politics is downstream from culture, right?
She doesn't even know what in the world she is trying to say. She doesn't know. Which is why she says the same stuff today. The government here and the government there, and everything's a conspiracy, because she has no clue at all about what God says. She doesn't.
Right. So, and you can argue that they feed into each other, whatever it is, but there's definitely something between culture and politics that is linked, inextricably linked. So when when everyone's on the same page, like, so if the government wants to get bigger, which it has been doing, right, and wants people to look to them for answers, which it has been doing, you have to understand they have to sort of destroy everything else that they would potentially be looking to for answers.
What has Candace done? Tell me Candace hasn't done that exact same thing. You destroy everything else that we look to for answers, right? Okay. Now, let's listen to what she says today about Jews. Okay. Now, people are going to say, she's talking about the nation of Israel, the government side of it. Okay, cool. Let's hear. Let's hear if that's the case.
I would literally rather saw off my own foot than support Israel.
Listen.
I would literally rather saw off my own foot than support Israel ever again, by the way. Never supporting that demonic nation ever again. That's
a demonic nation, not government. Hear me out. For those of you that want to come back later and want to tell me that she's talking about the government, there is a mad difference between the government and the nation. The nation comprises all the people and the government. She won't support the nation of Israel ever again. The nation, not the government structure, the nation. Her words, not mine, hers. Please understand, I didn't say this. Your queen and commander said it.
It's like, I am so off that train. It's crazy.
Now, I don't know what she means by demonic nation.
Now, we're covering this from Corey's channel, FYI. So don't get too mad at me for covering and bringing up Corey's face on the platform, okay? We're going to fast forward through and then go to where she's talking again.
Responsible for JFK.
I don't think we've been a sovereign nation since they shot JFK. And when I say they, it's like people online say, what do you mean by they? I'm talking about Israel. I don't want you guys.
See? So now Israel is also responsible for JFK getting killed. So how do you go about demonizing an entire people by using the government as your shield? The way she does it. When in doubt, blame something else. I'm not saying that JFK was just assassinated by some random person. I do believe a government entity, but I believe it was ours. Even if it was the government entity of Israel, it wasn't the Jewish people. You understand the difference? Do you understand the difference? I don't think Candace does.
To reading between. I'm talking about Israel, so let's stop making that a taboo subject because they've gone mask down. Everything they're doing is demonic. I want nothing to do with it. I will never support Israel into the future after what they've done to these children. The starvation campaign. I don't care. Please write your article. You've already written them all. I don't know what you could add about me, but I do not support Israel, and I don't think that Jewish Americans should support Israel. And I hope that they're now having those conversations. I see many of them recognizing that they have been propagandized into believing they have to support this demonic state.
Now, hear me out, please. This is the same woman that is talking about the Jewish state and Israel doing stuff to kids while she is an active member and pushing the propaganda for an entire pedophilic religion. I want you all to understand this. She's equating the actions of the government of Israel to the entire state of Israel. But at the same time, she is in cahoots, in bed with, in a legion with a pedophilic religion that preys on young boys at the altar and will protect at all costs priests that touch children, to the tune of more than 2,000 of them since 2010. That's who she is fine with. But Israel, that's the real killer. But she'll tell everybody you need to become a Catholic. Interesting.
Talking about the nation of Israel. Yet nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the
God's
descendants of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu?
And this is the same thing I have with Tucker, an educated fool. Tucker Carlson is an educated fool. Let's not get this twisted. You can talk about international relations. You can talk about the news. You can talk about political things. But Tucker is as educated on the Bible as a gnat is about flies. They're both stupid individuals. Both Candace and Tucker have no place talking anything religion because they are not in any way, shape, form, or fashion familiar enough or invested enough to know. They don't want to know. It is a talking point for them. Ted Cruz never mentioned the government of Israel. He mentioned the nation, which is the peoples. Of course, it's the same people. It's the same people. But they like to conflate the government. This is how they did it back in the day, too. Okay, listen. Sadducees and Pharisees were the ones that brought Jesus to trial, right? What has been the going thing? That the Jews killed Jesus. Every Jew. Let me ask a question. Where was he buried? I'm going to ask that of anyone. Right? Tell me, please. Who was Joseph? What was Joseph? Anybody know? Anyone want to take a stab in the dark? Thank you, Linda. And as a babe, they should shut up until they know that is my biggest problem. They don't know what they're talking about. And they feel nobody can correct them because they conflate politics with religion and think that their viewpoints in politics and how smart they are politically somehow translates over to the Bible when it blatantly doesn't. They have become the very thing that they speak so highly about being bad. That is their biggest problem.
Right now.
Yes.
It is.
And I'm really happy he said that, because when you hear it, you realize how ridiculous it sounds.
Why is it ridiculous to say that the same people, the people are the same? Biblically, they're the same people. So because the government that has taken over is the corrupt one, that influences the people all of a sudden. So let me ask a question, Candace. If the government of America becomes corrupt, are you corrupt too? Oh, no, you want to be standing out different though, right? You different because you think differently? You don't align with the government. But if someone considers you an American, right, they consider you the same as the people that were, I don't know, in Vietnam killing kids. Would you be okay with that? Oh, no. But you're American though, right? That's how stupid you sound. You're the stupid one. You are the ridiculous one. Scores upon scores upon scores of Jews gave their life to Christ and still remained Jewish. There were Peter that went out to the Jews and Paul that went out to the Gentiles, but you are remedial in your understanding of the word, so you would never get that difference. No, but because your political leanings override anything you think about with God and you don't know him, this is how you think. It explains why you will never go after the Catholic Church. Now, you know what I should say? I should say, the same way you conflate the Jews with the Jewish government, you must be or in love with a pedophile and pedophilic ways in order for you to be a part of the Catholic faith. Can I say that safely?
Even if you're not following the theology, if you don't identify as a Christian, you realize that you have a senator that is sitting across saying that his number one reason, he didn't say one of the reasons, he said my number one reason that I support Israel is because the Bible commands me to do so. And just so you know, the Bible does not command, and this is what Tucker Carlson is getting to in that clip, it absolutely does not command you to support the modern state of Israel.
It never said that in the Bible either. What Ted Cruz was talking about was the blessing and the cursing of Israel, the people of Israel. Sure, he said command, and it doesn't use the word command in the book. I'll give you that much. But unlike you, he's not conflating the government of Israel with the people of Israel, which is what you perpetually do. And you keep trying to get people to leave the Jewish idea behind because in your mind, somehow that being Jewish is somehow all wrong. You should just stop being Jewish because the government's trash. Jews need to wake up to what? You don't think the Jews know that their government is corrupt? You don't think Americans know that the government is corrupt? Is it going to stop me from calling myself an American, you idiot? No. Because I am American. You buffoon. They're still Jewish. Regardless of how corrupt the government gets, they're still Jewish. How remedial do you have to be to not get this? But you don't know the Bible. You don't know the Bible, so you will never understand what actually God came here to do. You won't get it. You're too steeped in candles swinging and incense burning, top hat wearing pedophiles to be concerned about what God actually wants. Craziness.
Like Genesis is pointing to the modern 1948 created state of Israel.
You see how stupid she is? I hope people understand that this remedial monkey does not understand. And I don't care if people think I'm calling her monkey because she's black. I'm calling her a monkey because she might as well be flinging poo. She's that dumb. The Bible will never conflate the governments of the earth with his people. He has never done that. Not once. Nowhere. You're the only one doing it. You're the only idiot doing this. Well, you and Tucker. And all the other flying monkeys that follow your circus. How about you pluck your own eye out first, Natalie? How about you do that first? How about you pluck your eye out and go deal with Candace? You don't need to be here. Go deal with Candace. You can go talk to Candace, hang out with Candace, be with that devil's minion. I got no problem with you leaving to go deal with her. Have fun with it. Go hang out with the Catholic witch yourself. Nobody cares. And if you can tell me exactly what beam or speck I have in my eye, I would love to hear your point.
And you must support it, despite the fact that it is very much involved in what can only be described as demonic behavior.
Like your religion, Candace. Exactly like your Catholic religion, Candace. The faith you say you follow. The entire auditorium is satanic imagery. A snake head and an absolutely disgusting amalgamation of a statue. And then you have this man sitting up there in the middle of the room acting like Christ himself, and you follow that. You have no room to talk. You are just as vile. If you think that Israel is vile, you are the same. The very same. You call everybody else out, but you won't call out the one person that you say you follow. Praying to Mary and all this trash. Higher than a kite in the spring.
Creation, right? And so you're going to ignore every other biblical passage. You're going to misinterpret this one. It's
Name them. Go ahead. Name what the passage that we use. Go ahead. Name them. I bet you don't know what they are.
a dispensationalist heresy, which was factually funded by the World Zionist Congress. And we can do another episode on that as I present to you guys all of the evidence that what it guided the notations. This really stems from the Schofield Bible, the heresy of the Schofield Bible. Schofield himself was an absolute fraud.
Kind of like your Pope. What about the Catholic Bible, Candace? What about the Catholic Bible? Explain to me your Pope interjecting his own viewpoints in the word. Oh, that's different? You got tons to say about Schofield, but you ain't got nothing to say about your disgusting Pope? No? The pedophile protector, you ain't got nothing to say about him? The one that just signed a whole new treaty with the other pedophilic religion? You ain't got nothing to say about that, though. But you got your flying monkeys coming in here to talk about taking beams out of my eye. Crazy work.
Who got funded and was overseas and alleges that he wrote all of these notes in the Bible and is telling people how to read their Bible.
Who does that? Who else does that? What other religion tells people how to read their Bible? What religion is that? Who does that? I know who it is. Catholics do that. Catholics do that. The Catholics tell you that you don't need to go to Jesus, you go to the Pope. You go to your priests. The Catholics tell you something about praying some kind of rosary when you can't find that in the Word, unless, of course, you're talking about your Catholic Bible. This is why I tell people she works for Satan. An evangelical Christian is an idiot as far as she's concerned, because you don't understand the amazing role of Mary and where she is going straight to heaven, being sinless. You don't understand. And if you ever even think about it, you must be wrong. But Christ is king, y'all. Christ is king. That is crazy work. So what's the danger in it? Let's examine the danger in what she's doing, since people don't seem to get the danger. When you are so focused on the aspect of, say, the Jews and the Jewish nation and all that stuff, right? But at the same time, you have zero understanding about the faith you say you expose and espouse, then there's a problem. Especially when you're telling people one thing about the religion you say you are a part of, while at the same time not following that very same religion. So what does that do? It sows confusion. The same confusion you are trying to say you're going to stop on the religious side with the following of Israel, you are doing the very same thing by pushing Catholicism. Because the last time I checked, a Christian does not try to teach you about the beliefs of another religion that's completely antithetical to God. A Christian wouldn't do that. Wouldn't. And for those of you who might possibly think that that is not what's happening, because I know that some people were in the Too Strong chat some time ago being absolute buffoons. So I'm going to show you all exactly what's taking place with this Catholic Church nonsense. Since everybody reports to the Vatican, if you are part of the Catholic faith. This. Our dear visitors and worshipers, kindly ensure you book your ticket at least 24 hours before you visit your visit using our official app or website. A valid ticket is required for entry. And advance reservations help us welcome you smoothly. We look forward to seeing you soon. So what is this? This is what we call the Abrahamic house of worship. This was signed on to by the Catholic Church and Islam. And by some others so-called Christian faiths. So what's the purpose of this website? What's the purpose of this location? Diverse in our faiths, common in our humanity, together in peace. Can I ask a simple question? Is Christianity diverse in faith? Or is it one faith, one baptism, one Lord and all? Please tell me if the Bible espouses diversity in faith. I would love to hear the Candace minions explain that to me. Please tell me. If your religion is signing on to a diverse faith idea, are you a Christian? Yes or no? Ephesians 4, because I doubt you would know it if you follow Candace. Ephesians 4 reads as follows. I, therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you to walk worthy of the calling which you were called, with all lowliness and gentleness and long suffering, bearing with one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body, one Spirit, just as you were called in one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all, through all, and in you all. Any faith that tells you that there is diversity of faith is lying about God and by on its all accounts and purposes, heretical, meaning you work for the devil. So for all the nonsense she can talk about Israel and the government and Jews and all that trash, she is a part of the very religion that pushes a satanic agenda while she's sitting there on her high and mighty throne calling everybody else satanic. She's no different than Satan himself walking up to Jesus to tempt him. Plain and simple. Worshipers Monday through Sunday as per faith prayer timing. Now you got to pay to go and worship now. This is, mind you, the Catholics are a part of this. A mosque, a church, a synagogue. Even so-called Jews are signing up for this nonsense. Remember when it says there are some who say they are and are not? That'd be these ones that are signing up. This entire thing, the entire thing, is not about politics. This is not about politics. This is about who will and will not follow God. Plain and simple. The same way that those who were Pharisees and Sadducees were unwilling to accept Christ as the Messiah are the same ones that would be willing to sign up to this nonsense because they don't know God. They have no desire to know him. It's the reason why Jesus said it. Many will not come to the knowledge. It is why it was said in the Old Testament that I will be offering what I have for you to others. Since you don't want it, I'll give it to somebody else. And even then, when he showed up here on earth, he sent out his disciples to those who were Jewish to come back to him. He sent them specifically to go find those of the lost house. He did that. Then he called Paul to reach out to those who were not of his house to become part of his house. This nonsensical thing that she has going on, she's going to be one of the reasons that people will be so distracted that they will not follow God. They will follow people, they will follow agendas, they will follow ideologies, they will follow conspiracies, but they will not find God. They'll find a version of him, at least the version that she's putting out, that everyone else is putting out, this happy-go-lucky God. They will never actually come to the knowledge, and that's because of people like her. And yeah, we call her out specifically. Why? Because of her reach. She has the ear of millions. Let me say that number again. Millions. Millions. Let me give you just a hint. Let me give you an idea real quick, okay? If you just go to just her own channel on YouTube, okay? When you go to the views, okay, listen to me carefully. When you go to the views, she has more than 1 billion views. Listen to me carefully. 1 billion eyes and ears. 1 billion. I want y'all to really kind of focus in on something here. 1 billion. But let's just go to the most recent time frame of like this month. 2, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 17, 20, 23, 27, 29, 30, 32, 36, 40, 48, 53. In just 3 weeks, 62 million views. 62 million. And of those views, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of 15 videos are about Israel. 10 of 15 are of Israel. Now, what exactly is the problem with it? Really? She's just doing what she's doing. She's making her money. She's doing what it's a job. She's a voice for people who are trying to hear the truth. That's what people will tell you. She's intelligent. She is smart. She knows what she's talking about. She brings receipts, except when it comes to the word of God. She never brings a receipt for that. It's all hearsay and nitpicking stuff from history, but never from the word, because she doesn't read it. So what's the danger? The danger is people looking at it as though she, listen to me carefully, she is trying to bring them to the light. What does it say? That the devil parades as an angel of light? Truth? Bringing all kinds of truth to it? Where is truth to be found? Is it in a man statement? Is it here? Is it somewhere else? Where is it? Last I checked, the word has the truth, does it not? When has Candace ever directed people to the word? I'll wait. You tell me. When has Candace ever directed anybody to the word? Even for my disagreements with Charlie, you know what he actually did? He directed you to the word. She can't take you to the word. The word doesn't dwell in her. She has no concept about it. It is all historical, all mythological, all political. She's using God as a what? A cudgel. It's just a stepping stool to get to what she wants to. To answer your question, I don't know. The only way you can even get them to even remotely look at the word is by offering them the word. Look at it this way. If you were to just read, simply just read the word itself for what it is, there is no way you can become a Catholic. Candace, by her own statement, said if you even look at history, you have no choice but to become a Catholic. History, not the word, history. History will dictate that you become a Catholic. That's what she said. Not the word. In any case, this is what you call delusion on the grand scale. She's upset about many things politically. She's very upset politically. She was ostracized, but she also doesn't believe the stuff she's saying. That is the biggest problem. Her belief structure is not based on anything tangible. It's all based on what she feels. Her entire ideology about salvation and Christianity is so skewed that you couldn't even make her listen. You couldn't. She has become a different version of a Sadducee. All kinds of knowledge about stuff, but never introduced herself to God, but espousing him all day long. If she had nothing against the Jews, she'd have no problem with their religion. None. She would have no problem with them because she would understand, based on the Bible, where they fit in. But she doesn't understand where they fit in. Which is why she has a problem with terms like Judeo-Christian. She doesn't even understand what that means. In her mind, she has no clue. She doesn't even know what the word holy means. This is how deluded she is. You can go listen to it yourself. She doesn't even know what holy means. She will conflate holy and holy. I'm not the one making that conflation. She did. You can go listen to it yourself. That's how lost she is. The Catholic faith has put people in the position of deity. They've created rituals, they've created mantras, they've created all kinds of stuff that you can't find anywhere in the Word. They have a whole different way of you coming to Christ that is not even biblical. But they call themselves Christians, and they're not. They don't even adhere to the basic of the basic hierarchy of heaven. They introduce a whole nother person in there. That's some crazy work. But she spends all her time talking about the Jews while following a religion that will directly, hear me out, directly impact a Gentile's life and afterlife. Her ideology is one that does indeed hate Jews. She says one thing to people that will hear something, but she hates Jews because she will all the time conflate the two, of the nation and the government, as being one. They're all one to her. And she wants Jews to wake up to that idea and leave it. No longer be a Jew. Because that's a bad thing. So yeah, she hates Jews. She hates them. A non-practicing one, yeah. One that did exactly what she's hoping everybody else does. Leave it. Because he's now Catholic. He doesn't espouse being one. It's crazy work. Crazy, crazy work. Oh, I love my enemies, which is why I tell the truth. If I hated my enemies, I wouldn't call them out. I'd leave them. But I'm going to call them out. The same way Stephen did. You brood of vipers. I'll call them out. That's love. That is love. That is all love. Hate would say, do nothing, say nothing, be quiet, leave it alone. Nope. I have to hate you to do that. I have to absolutely despise you to let you just not know what you're saying is stupid. I have to hate you. That'd be like listening to my kid talk about his shoes and calling it gloves in front of a crowd and just say, I love my kid, so I'm not going to correct him because, that would be upsetting to him. Now, if I loved, I'd shut my kid up right away and say, whoa, wait, hey, those are shoes. They're not gloves. Those are shoes. Because I don't want my kid to be a dummy. I don't want trying to get my kid to be dumb. I'm trying that kid to be smart. I'm going to get all kinds of hate for this particular video, and I do not care. So I'm going to ask the haters to address just one thing for me, please. In fact, no, I'm going to make it difficult for you. Address two things for me. I just want you to address two things for me. And listen carefully. Please listen carefully to the things I want you to address. Number one, How versed is Candace in the Bible, since she wants to talk about people editing and adding certain things to a Bible? And remember, she's a student of history. How versed is she in the Bible? That's number one. Number two, and this is one of the second bigger ones, because knowing the Bible would be number one. But the next big one is this. Why does she choose to promote and push a faith that has a sordid history of child abuse and cover up? Explain those two things for me before you even remotely come to defend this fool. When you come to defend this moronic monkey, please explain those two things for me. That remedial trash bag, I want you to make sure you answer those two questions first. What is her biblical knowledge? And why she has never, not one time, called out the pedophilic faith she's a part of? But she talks about everybody else. We might have a conversation then, but I doubt you're going to address that. You're going to come and address, why are you calling her a monkey? Why are you calling her stupid? Because I can and she is. How about that? I answered your questions. Now answer mine. She talks poop and she throws it. Monkey. I answered your question. Now answer mine. I doubt you're going to have the answer, because she doesn't. Because I tell you now, many Catholics don't know their Bible. They don't have a clue. If they did, they wouldn't be Catholics. In any case, I'll see if I'm back tomorrow. Like I said, got a bunch of stuff to deal with here. Some pretty, pretty intense stuff. So just be praying that things become a little bit more clear, that I'm able to just settle in letting God handle what he has to handle, and not try to do too much, but also not do too little. Yeah. So in any case, it is emotionally taxing what's going on. And that's the other side to having youngsters. That's the other side to it. Is that you never know what's going to pop off. You just never know. You can prep with the best of them, but you just never know. Anyway, scrolling at the bottom, you know what to do. I do appreciate your prayers. I really do. Savage will be on tomorrow, I believe. If not, I'll let you guys know. Should be. And both sides should also be on tonight. I believe. We'll see. Don't it's Rapture Day. I totally forgot it's Rapture Day. My bad. But y'all are still here? Man, come on. What did you guys do wrong? Were you guys listening to Candace? You guys were secretly listening to Candace, and that's why you're still here, huh? I'm still here because I knew it wasn't going to happen. I'm just judging y'all for what I can. I'm just kidding. I totally missed Rapture Day, man. Yeah, I know another one, Sean. Another one. That's 4 now I think I've missed already. At this rate, I ain't never getting to heaven if I keep missing all these dates, man. Psh. Oh, lordy. Anyway, we'll catch you guys later today. I appreciate you all more than you'll ever know. Wisdom calls to you from the street, so please find wisdom. Peace.
Hold tight the dreams, for if dreams die, rely on yourself in no way.